On today's show, the Boston Celtics go up 2-0 against the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals. How the Celtics managed to get the win despite only shooting 25% from three-point range. Plus, Jayson Tatum's impact despite struggling to score the basketball in this game. It's all coming up on today's Locked On NBA.
You are Locked On NBA, your daily NBA podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up and welcome to another edition of Locked On NBA, the biggest stories with the local experts. I'm your host, Jackson Gatlin, also host of Locked On Rockets right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Now, today's episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and so much more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Joining us now is the host of Locked On Celtics and Locked On NBA, John Karalis. You can track down wherever you listen to your podcasts or on YouTube. Just search Locked On Celtics as the Celtics take a 2-0 series lead in the NBA Finals after a Game 2 105-98 win against the Mavericks. And John, look, Boston led by just 3 points at halftime. Luka was sitting on 23 points, and there was kind of no answer for him up to that point. What changed for Boston in the third quarter to be able to take control of this game?
Well, they weren't looking for answers for what Luka was doing. I saw that whole first half of him taking nothing but step backs. He wasn't getting to the rim. He wasn't generating open looks like he normally does. Maybe a little bit better than in game one. The difference was that he kind of punched himself out, and the shot making from the first half went away in the second half for him and for Kyrie Irving. And that's the Celtics' defensive plan kind of in a nutshell. You play Luka straight up. You try to make things difficult on Kyrie and make him inefficient. They've done that for 2 straight games. And late in the game, both of those guys sort of faded. Kyrie couldn't hit anything. Luka was starting to miss. He was 1 of 6 in the fourth quarter. When they needed those 2 guys the most, they missed shots. And I think that's the Celtics' game plan, is to work both of those guys, attack them on defense. I've said it a million times here: defend with your offense, make both those guys work, get them tired, and then when the game is on the line, dare them to find something deep where they can come through. Kyrie hasn't been able to do it. Luka, whether it's being tired, whether it's his knee or his ankle or his whatever that thoracic injury is, he hasn't been able to finish off strong, and that's why the Celtics are up 2-0.
Speaking of being able to defend with your offense, this was not the Celtics' best offensive game, right? Kind of felt like the Mavs let one slip here with Celtics only shooting 25% from 3, but kind of credit to their offense from being able to find other ways to score the ball besides just, like, they didn't shy away from taking those threes, right? Attempted 39 of them in the game, but they still found other ways to keep the offense flowing and be able to get enough points on the board to come away with the dub.
Yeah, this is a real testament to their offensive discipline, because one of the things that I was asked multiple times during the games, do you keep shooting threes? Do you keep taking these? And the answer is yes. You have to generate those shots and trust in them, because there's a natural inclination to say the threes aren't falling, just drive. But what happens when you just drive, especially against the Mavs? They're dying for you to just drive, because that's where they challenge you at the rim, and they force you to either take contested shots or they block your shots. And that's an easy way to get the other team going, get them on a run. The Celtics had to keep generating the good shots, drive, which they were able to do. But once you get to the rim, you make the right read. Is there somebody there? Then pass it and work it around. And I think what you saw was down the stretch, they needed 2 huge threes, one from Derrick White, one from Jrue Holiday. Even though the shots weren't falling, you trust in the offense. You trust in the ability for everybody to be in the right spot, to make the right play, and that eventually those shots are going to fall. A couple of them did. They gave Boston enough of a lead that they held on down the stretch. And that's discipline. That's the type of discipline that the Celtics have shown all year long. That's kind of new to them this year. And frankly, that the Mavs haven't faced over the course of their run to the NBA Finals, where Minnesota and OKC lacked some of that discipline. Boston is there with it and closing games out.
Jayson Tatum had just 18 points on 6 of 22 shooting. So, definitely seen some better offensive performances from him. But while he did struggle to put the ball in the bucket, he made his presence felt pretty much everywhere else in this game, right? 9 rebounds, 12 assists, great defense. He didn't let his offense dictate his ability to still make a really big impact here in game 2.
Yeah. And half of those assists went to Jrue Holiday. He was the guy that was kind of drawing that defense, dumping it off to Holiday down in the dunker spot or finding him out on the perimeter. And that's Joe Mazzulla talks about his greatness. He makes greatness look easy. I actually like the way Jayson played in this game. I thought the shots that he took were mostly good ones. And it's very easy to sit there and say, well, he didn't have a great game because the shots didn't fall. But if you're taking good shots, those are the types of shots that will fall. And more often than not, he'll have a bigger scoring night if he plays the exact same way. But the Mavs are daring him to take contested shots. And to his credit, the maturity is there for him to be like, you know what? I'm not going to try to do everything myself. He still took more than 20 shots, so it's not like he, was shy about it. But when you get double team, triple team, blitzed, whatever, to get off the ball when he did. And look, let's fold Jaylen Brown into this too, because he did the same thing and has been doing the same thing. When your superstars are making those right plays, it makes it easier for a guy like Holiday to have this monster performance, for guys like Derrick White and Porzingis and Horford to each take turns having huge performances in these playoffs. These guys trust their teammates. And Jayson Tatum said after the game, if it takes 17 potential assists for us to win a championship, then sign me up.
Talking about trust, I'll tell you what, well, if Derrick White didn't have that block there at the end on PJ Washington, then Jaylen Brown was right there with that block as well in case he didn't get it. Just sandwiched him right up against the glass there on that potentially game-saving block, which looked clean on replay, might we add here. Last thing I got for you, John, Kristaps Porzingis, another strong game off the bench, 12 points, 23 minutes, but he left early after diving for a loose ball on a PJ Washington missed 3, immediately looked kind of hobbled on those few possessions thereafter until Al Horford was able to check back in on the game. Do you have any update on KP for us?
Both he and Joe Mazzulla seem not concerned. Porzingis says they'll do some imaging, but at this point, he feels like he's going to be fine, that it's not a big deal. Mazzulla said there's no concern, but I guess we'll see what the results of the imaging are. No one was specific about what was going on, but Porzingis is pretty confident about being out there for game 3.
Can the Celtics go up 3-0 as this series shifts back to, not back to Dallas for the first time in this series? What adjustments are we going to see from both teams as we navigate the rest of this finals? You're going to have us covered for all of that and so much more over at Locked On Celtics. John, thanks for stopping by Locked On NBA with me.
You got it. Anytime, my man.